In this presentation, we will see classes, objects and methods. In this presentation, we will see how to define a class, adding variables in a class, adding methods in a class, then how to create the objects, after that method overloading, then we will see static members, and at the end we will see nesting of methods. First, we will see what is a class. Classes provide a convenient method for packing together a group of logically related data items and functions that work on them. In Java, the data items are called fields and the functions are called methods. Calling a specific method in an object is described as sending the object a message. A class is essentially a description of how to make an object that contains fields and methods. A class is a user-defined data type with a template that serves to define its properties. Once the class type has been defined, we can create the instances of the classes which are the actual objects. Here is the basic form of class declaration. We starts with the keyword class, followed by keyword class. We specify the name of the class and then the super class name, which is the optional one. And after that we specify the variables, which are the data items of the class, and the methods, that is the functions available in that class. Now we'll see adding variables in a class. Data is encapsulated in a class by placing data fields inside the body of the class definition. These variables are called instance variables because they are created whenever an object of the class is instantiated. As shown in this example, the class rectangle has two integer data items, which are length and width. Instance variables are also known as member variables. Now, adding methods in a class. Methods are necessary for manipulating the data contained in a class. Methods are declared inside the body of the class but immediately after the declaration of instance variable. Here is the general form of method declaration. First, we specify the return type, followed by return type we specify the name of the method, and then in the bracket we specify the parameter list. After that, in the opening and closing curly bracket we specify the method body. Method declarations have four parts. The first one, the name of the method. Second, the type of the value the method returns. Third, a list of parameters. And number four is a body of the method. In this example, that is class rectangle, there is a method called as getData with two integer parameters x and y, and the method body assigns value of x to the length data item and value of y to the width data item. Also, the return type of this method is void, that is null. Creating objects. An object in Java is a block of memory that contains space to store all the instance variable. Creating an object is also referred as instantiating an object. Objects are created by using new operator. The new operator creates an object of the specified class and returns a reference to that object. In this example, the first statement declares a variable rect to hold the object reference, and the second statement actually assigns the object reference to the variable, which is shown in the figure. What is constructor? When you create an object, you use the new operator to instantiate an object from a class. A string is a class, so you might write the statement like string s is equal to new string. This statement creates a new empty string. The second occurrence of the word string is a call to a special method known as constructor. The constructor's name is always the same as the class name. Java allows you to have multiple methods with the same name as long as they have different parameters. So one class can have many different constructors. As with any method, you can also provide arguments for this special constructor. You can write a statement like string s equal to new string into the bracket within quotation mark the string welcome. Here is the example of creating a simple object. In this example, one class T is defined which contains one private data item called as message, which is initialized to the string welcome. After that, there is a method called as print message, which displays value of the data item message. And in the class, the main method creates the object of the class, and the object reference variable is test, and by using this reference variable we are calling the print message function, that is it displays the string welcome on the console. Method overloading. In Java, it is possible to create methods that have the same name but different parameter list. This is called method overloading. When a method in an object is called, Java matches method name first and then the number and type of parameters to decide which one of the definitions to execute. This process is known as polymorphism. Here in the example, one class, that is room, is defined which contains two constructors. The first one is with two float parameters and the second constructor is with one float parameter. That is, now here these two constructors are overloaded. We'll see static members. It is possible to define a member that is common to all the objects and accessed without using a particular object. That is, the member belongs to the class as a whole rather than the objects created from the class. Such members can be defined as like static int count, then static int max into bracket two parameters int x comma int y. The members that are declared as static are known as static members. Since these members are associated with the class itself rather than individual objects, the static variables and static methods are referred as class variables and class methods. Java creates only one copy for a static variable which can be used even if the class is never actually instantiated. Static methods have several restrictions. Number one, they can only call other static methods. Number two, they can only access static data. And number three, they cannot refer to the keyword this or super in any way. Here is the example of how to define and use static members. The class math operation defines one static method called as multi, which returns the multiplication of its parameters x and y. Then in the class math application, the multi method is called by using the class name math operation and without creating the instance of the class math operation. Nesting of methods. A method can be called by using only its name by another method of the same class. This is known as nesting of methods. Here the program illustrates the nesting of methods inside a class. The class nesting defines one constructor and two methods, namely largest and display. The method display calls the method largest to determine the largest of two numbers and then displays the result. Here is the end of this presentation. Thank you.